evening, everyone, and welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And yes, the most industrial stream on a Tuesday night coming to you. We'll go over some stuff from out in the industry, look at some articles, see what's going on with the shortage of skilled tradesmen, and then I'll have some pictures and videos, etc. Towards the end as we go through. The title of this stream was It's Cracked. You're going to find out what's cracked later on. But before to get to all that, I'd just like to welcome David Glenn. Nice to see you, David. Hope things are going well for you. And Alex, hey. How are you doing tonight? Let me just get set up here. Get going over to Plant Magazine. We'll have some news. See what is going on. Mad Magazine was far superior to Cracked. Haha, remember those? I still have one of my Mad Magazines from 1986. Those were the days. That was such a good magazine. Let's see what we got here. The CFIB reports that skills gaps and mobility barriers are limiting Canadian small to medium growth. Let's see here. Small businesses face a shortage of applicants, skill mismatches, and difficulty attracting candidates when hiring skilled workers. And these challenges are only worsened by labor mobility barriers. I'm interested to see what they come up with what a labor mobility barrier is. We'll see. This is finding from a analysis by the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. Over 4 in 10 small firms. So if it says over 4 in 10, so 5? Do you mean 5? Don't say over 4 in 10. Just say 4 in 10 firms say a shortage of skilled labor is limiting their ability to increase sales or production. Many are struggling not just to find workers, but to find candidates with the right skills, expectations, and qualifications, said Marvin Cruz, CFIB's Director of Research. The study found that over 2/3, or 69%, 2/3 is 66%, not 69%. So use one or the other. Don't say 2/3, which is 66%, and then say 69%. 69% of SMEs say the primary obstacle to recruiting skilled employees is a shortage of qualified candidates within their sectors. More than half, 54% of small businesses had issues attracting qualified candidates at all, while 47% said they struggled with a mismatch between the skills applicants bring and the actual requirements of the role. Who taught this person to write? Yes, exactly. This is what happens when you use AI to write your stuff for you. According to CFIB, even when qualified workers are available elsewhere in Canada, provincial licensing and certification barriers often prevent employers from filling essential roles quickly and efficiently, especially in rural areas or sectors where candidates are scarce. Okay, so the only big thing about that is if you're in the trades and you have what's called a red seal, that means you can go from province to province, no problem. The red seal is an interprovincial seal that means you can practice your trade in any province. So, and it's not a snap to get. You know, the exam is like they give you 4 hours to do the exam, and I did mine in 2. So that's about right. You know, they give you 4, you take 2 to do it, and you can use it. You can go to different provinces. So. To me, this isn't a big deal. It just sort of weeds out the people that, aren't going to study enough to pass the exam. Additionally, 57% of small businesses reported a disconnect between what candidates expect in terms of pay or benefits and what businesses is offering. And a half of small businesses said they simply cannot provide compensation packages that match those of large companies. Well, this has to be something that the people that are applying for the job have to understand as well. If you're not working for a Dow Corning or an Owens Corning, I should say, or if you're not working for a big oil company, you're not going to get paid oil company wages when you work for a mom and pop outfit or, a smaller company, you're not going to get the big bucks because the money just isn't there. So it has to be some realistic expectations from the people going out to get the job. You apply at an oil company, you're going to get oil company pay. That's all there is to it. You work for a Shell, you're going to get paid what Shell can pay you. You go and work for, small company, you're not going to get a large paycheck because they don't have the revenue. There's a growing disconnect in Canada's labor market between small business needs and the available workforce. Even when roles are filled, businesses often deal with employees' poor productivity, lack of motivation, and weak problem-solving skills. Okay. Productivity. Set the goals for what the employee needs to do. Make sure you can try to motivate them. This lack of motivation, make them happy that they are at work. Don't make them miserable. The companies have to try to make it so they want to come to work. That's a big thing. If you can make it so that the employees are, happy to come to work, then you got half the battle won right there. The weak problem-solving skills, that's the education system. You're just when the kids go through elementary school, high school, problem-solving skills is not something they try to teach your children to do at all. So that is a education problem. If parents should try to step in and help their kids solve with problem-solving skills rather than just whatever it is they do. Do they just pass? If you can't figure out problems, we'll just pass you along to the next grade. So they tell you what to think, but not how, or they teach you how to think or what to think, but they don't teach you how to problem solve, figure things out. That's a big problem with the education system now. As long as you can remember and recall, they consider you quote unquote smart. So you memorize something and spit it out later on a test and you get 100% of it. Well, you're smart, quote unquote. Business operations and output are then lacking, while owners are often forced to spend more time training or rehiring workers instead of focusing on running the business, said Alkad Algiba, CFIB research analyst. To enhance the labor quality, CFIB says governments should introduce tax credits and grants for SMEs that invest in employee training and upskilling, provide wage subsidies or EI premium holidays for SMEs hiring or training new or inexperienced workers, and encourage partnerships between small businesses and educational institutions to create apprenticeship and internship programs that can help bridge the skills gap. Okay, I agree with the encouraging the education system to work with the businesses to create apprenticeships. That's good. Wage subsidies, that's just the government spending taxpayers' money for businesses, and I don't agree with that. Same with the tax credits. That's going to be something that's another government handout. What's up, Lucifer? How you doing, man? How's things going on your side of the world there? As for the labor mobilities, the CFIB recommends governments mutually recognize one another's regulatory requirements, allow licensed professionals to work within the scope of their existing training and experience while undergoing registration processes in a new province or territory, work with professional colleges and associations to lower or waive interprovincial registration fees, streamline the registration process by legislating a clear timeline for professional certification approvals. Should approval timelines not be respected, implement compensation for business such as waiving registration fees. Since 2021, wage costs have gone up, but productivity has stagnated. By improving our workforce quality and removing labor mobility barriers, we could boost our productivity and strengthen Canada's economic competitiveness. Yeah, maybe. You shouldn't rely so much on government to help you out with that, though. Because all the government knows how to do is spend money. Manufacturing sales in April see biggest monthly drop since 2023 amid U.S. tariffs. $30 billion in new investments needed to meet Canada's critical mineral demand. Hey, what's up, James? How you doing? The government is not your rich uncle. Yeah, that's right. You know it, David. Exactly. Well, let's see what investments. A newly released report estimates Canada will need at least $30 billion in new capital investments by 2040 if it wants to meet domestic demand for the critical minerals key to a green economy transition. But the Canadian Climate Institute's report says cutting back on environmental safeguards and Indigenous consultation to speed up those projects is likely to backfire. Well, that's what the government likes to do. Backfire. I'm sure they'll muck it up somehow. But the Canadian Climate Institute's report says cutting back. Yeah, okay. The report released Thursday says those cutbacks can lead to delays later on due to community opposition or litigation. The think tank's latest report comes as the federal government, along with Ontario and British Columbia, face major pushback from First Nations and environmental groups to legislation intended to speed up mining project approvals. The report says Canadian governments should support Indigenous participation and reduce environmental risks as part of efforts to reduce regulatory delays. It says Canada has a big opportunity to capitalize on the surging domestic and global demand for critical minerals to build the batteries, solar panels, and electric vehicles required to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. I don't know what these spooky greenhouse gas emissions are, but boy, oh boy, it's got me scared enough. How much money do I have to pay before I feel safe again? Yeah, this is greenhouse gas emissions. Get out of here with that stupid enviro talk. This is like that poem, Sound and Fury, signifying nothing, in your opinion. Yeah, I'd go for that, James. Sounds about right. It estimates domestic demand alone for key critical minerals, including lithium and copper, will reach $16 billion by 2040. If Canada keep up its climate policies, with almost half of that coming from EV manufacturers. To meet that demand, the think tank estimates Canada mining projects will need a total of $30 billion in capital investments, and even more if the industry wants to help satiate international demand too. The report says that that's also likely a lowball figure since it excludes major cost overruns that often plague mining projects. Climate alarmism, to be more specific. Yeah, James, there you go. That's a good word for it. What's up, Fabric? How you doing? You're late. Sorry you're late. You had chili last night, so you're having your own greenhouse emissions. Yeah. A lot of global warming going on around Fabric's place tonight. If they were serious about reducing greenhouse gas emissions, they would slap severe taxes on Taco Bell. Exactly. Go after those guys. They're the cause. Them and their darn tacos and beans and all that other kind of tasty stuff. Yeah, Fabric got to the joke first. Yeah. You got to get up pretty early in the morning to get one over on Fabric, don't you? All right. The estimated domestic need vastly exceeds current investment in this sector, which averaged about $2 billion per year from 2018 to 2023, the report said. The report suggests there's a role for governments to step in to support the sector with either equity investments or financial risk-sharing agreements, but it should not come at the expense of Indigenous consultation or environmental oversight, the authors say. Successful projects that are being developed fast are the ones that have participation from Indigenous communities that have adhered to the highest environmental standard, said co-author Marissa Beck, the think tank's Clean Growth Research Director. Royce already told you you're in the guest bedroom tonight, so you've heard it. Yeah, guest bedroom for you, Fabric. Aren't we years past when they said we wouldn't have Florida or Michigan supposed to be underwater? Oh, years gone by, James. No kidding. Yep, just years gone by past that, and I still haven't yet to see it yet. Fart on that woman who was crying on TikTok. Oh, if only it were possible. Critics say recently passed Bill 15 in BC and Bill 5 in Ontario gives those provinces sweeping powers to exempt mining projects from environmental oversight. That doesn't sound like a good idea. And undermines constitutional obligation to consult First Nations. The provincial governments disagree and say the legislation will help speed up approvals without sacrificing First Nations rights or environmental protections. That sounds like it's the opposite, actually. Why are you trusting the government? Ottawa has also faced pushback to its legislation intended to speed up infrastructure approvals. The authors of Tuesday's report declined to comment on the specifics of those legislative efforts, but it did put forward several policy recommendations. Governments should also support Indigenous communities exercising their right to self-determination and economic participation, such as through funding for Indigenous-led environmental assessments, the report says. Elsewhere, the report recommends provinces strengthen mining regulations to reduce environmental risks and liabilities, such as requiring producers to make their closure plans publicly available. Yeah, they should. They should be do that because miners want to do things as cheap as possible, and they'll cut corners wherever you let them. Old man with case of the farts is like a 6-year-old boy just learned the word pantyhose. Have they asked for First Nations governments? Because I can promise you they don't care if it brings work. I've heard things like that, Fabric. Like, they just, the band leaders or whoever it is, they don't care about the people in their tribe or whatever. They just care about lining their own pockets and sometimes treat their guys even worse. So, yeah, they probably wouldn't even care. What do we got here? Brampton, Zenobé announced $4 billion electric bus partnership. Oh, here we go. I just want to hear about this. The city of Brampton and Zenobé, a London-based fleet electrification and battery storage company, have announced a $4 billion partnership to support the transition of Brampton's transit bus fleet to zero emissions. This guys, and I know us older fellas, we know when they had electric buses already before this. You had electric lines running through the city, and the buses would ride on those lines to power their electric motor. And then they got rid of them. And then they were like bringing the diesel buses, and then now they're getting rid of the diesel buses and bringing back electric buses. So it's a big waste of money is what it is. They should have kept the original buses that ran on electricity from the wires overhead. But nope. Somebody got paid off for that, I'm sure. Work means income tax for the government. Taxing is power. Yes. Yeah, Alex, you're laughing at zero emissions. Remember those and the car companies killed them? Yeah. Is that Keir Starmer? I don't know if it is or not. From left to right, Tim Boothman, Steve Messerman. Yeah, it is. It is Keir Starmer. You called it. Look at you, David. You picked him out. Patrick Brown and Fuzia Yunus. It's March and counter March. Yep, that's exactly what it is. You think your big duck from one side or the other of those is disconnected? The AC isn't working well? Uh-oh. Better check it out, James. The initiative, which includes partners from both the UK and Canada, such as TD Securities and the original equipment manufacturers, marks the first phase of a 10-year electrification framework. The project aims to serve Toronto's largest suburb to help shift its public transit system to zero emissions, except for when you have to get rid of the batteries. The partnership is expected to bring $1 billion in foreign investment into Canada and strengthen UK-Canada business ties. Hold on. How is it going to bring in $1 billion in foreign investment? When aren't they just buying these buses? You're buying them from a London-based company. You're not even buying a Canadian-based company that builds buses. Okay. Described as one of the largest zero-emission bus programs in North America, the project is expected to deliver environmental and social benefits, including reduced greenhouse gas emissions. There's that stupid word again. CO2 is good for the environment. It's good for trees. I don't know what other greenhouse gases they're talking about, but pollution is something they should try to cut down on. Never mind greenhouse gases. They don't conflate the two. Greenhouse gases are not pollution. Pollution is different than greenhouse gases. By transitioning to fully electric bus fleet, we're not only reducing emissions, we're creating jobs, improving air quality, and building a cleaner, healthier future for our residents. That's debatable. Mayor Patrick Brown, Brampton is proud to lead one of the North America's largest zero-emission transit projects, and we are grateful to our partners in the UK and Canada for helping make this bold vision a reality. The plan includes the deployment of 1,000 electric buses to replace Brampton's existing diesel fleet. The first phase of infrastructure is expected to go live in early 2027, supporting more than 40 million annual transit riders. Electric buses will be procured from Canadian suppliers, while Zenobē will provide planning, design, software, supply chain support, and capital market expertise. This just sounds like a big payoff. They're really not doing much of anything. Planning, design, and software. That's what they're doing. The project will also involve technical teams from the UK and local engineering teams in Brampton. We bring considerable experience working with local and federal public sector partners to enable and accelerate their transition to electric fleets. Our customized match funding options, combined with the experience from delivering over 120 electric depots globally, lowers cost and de-risks the inevitable path to zero-emission fleets. We are delighted to grow our presence in Canada, and with Brampton, we jointly achieve their financial and ecological objectives, said Steve Measurman, co-founder and director of Zenobē. Starmer's the UK version of Carney. Yep, 100%. Don't forget licensing, extra license to drive electric, then extra license to go back to... Yeah, it's probably what's going to happen. They're going to have so much trouble with the electric buses. They're like, oh, well, looks like we have to buy some diesel buses as backup. Because, these ones are no good for the winter or something like that. Something's going to happen. They're going to probably break down a lot. Probably be garbage. So I'm just saying, it's a warning. Methane somehow dissipates in about 12 years. Okay. There have been several methane plumes around the world that just turned on naturally. It wasn't me. Yeah, there you go, Fabric. Sure, it's a convoluted plot to sell expensive tools to the mechanics that keep the buses operating. Well, they're going to have to get trained up, because if you're a diesel mechanic, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with electric batteries, electric motors, and such like that. Especially if they're like specially made. How many times must they learn this lesson? Exactly. How many times do I have to teach you this, old man? Wouldn't rickshaws create more jobs? Yes. Actually, that's a really good idea, David. They should do that. You know what? People would get workouts. They'd get in shape. You could really, cut down on the unemployment. Oh, sounds like a good idea. $9,000 Snap-on diagnostic computer. Yeah, even if they have to use Snap-on, I'm sure these guys will have their own computers to sell Brampton. Because it's the city and they're good at pissing away money. So if they're like, oh, you're going to need this special computer to read this, the diagnostics on this battery, and it's $40,000. So, yeah, sorry about that, but you're going to have to use that if you want to work on these. Hey, what's up, Aris? How you doing, man? Yeah, I think we're just finishing up the news of the week here. A couple of interesting articles. Now let's move along to some of the other things that I saw today. I saw this one here. Quit your desk job to work in skilled trades? We want to hear from you. Making the transition from an office job to the skilled trades is no easy feat. But for those who do, it can prove to be a rewarding career change. That's why your father sold his auto parts business? Ah, okay, yep. Yeah, they were getting pretty cutthroat, were they, David? Then they won't work, and all that effort would be mostly wasted. Yep, that's what I'm saying, James. It seems to be a giant circle. It comes around again. It's amazing how things go in cycles. You know, oh, we need to get rid of these electric buses because there's too many lines and they break down a lot, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll get diesel buses. Oh, these diesel buses, they're stinking up the place with exhaust and everything like that. And we got to get rid of them and get some electric buses. Oh, okay, well, we'll get some electric buses now. So circling around and around in circles. It's a circle jerk. There you go, David Glenn. Yep. Big, giant circle jerk. And it's disheartening and it makes you sick of it. Really. Well, let's get into this. A 2024 report by Statistics Canada states that labor organizations, think tanks, and government agencies have been sounding the alarm on potential shortages in skilled trades. Really? I think I've been doing that ever since I started my stream. For example, with nearly 250,000 construction workers set to retire by 2032, could create a shortfall of over 61,000 workers. Recent data from Statistics Canada indicate that while Canada leads the G7 as the most educated workforce because of its large share of college and university graduates, the number of working age, 25 to 64, apprenticeship certificate holders has stagnated or fallen in critical fields such as construction, mechanic, and repair technologies and precision production, states the report. Plastic bottles are bad. Use aluminum cans. Aluminum cans are bad. Use plastic. Glass, James. Glass. We got to go back to glass bottles. They pay those think tanks too much. You do it for a bottle of Le Fleur Avognac. There you go. You got good taste, Fabric. Yeah, same type thing. That's exactly right, James. The COVID-19 pandemic certainly hasn't helped. Since then, trade registrations and certifications remain low, raising concerns about potential labor shortages in skilled trades. However, even before the pandemic, Canada was already seeing a shortage of hairstylists and barbers, cooks, construction millwrights, and industrial mechanics. I was told about this when I was going to trade school in the early 1990s. Our instructors told us, this is in 1992, you guys are going to be able to pick and choose the jobs you want because all the boomers are going to be retiring. I heard that back then. That was 30 years ago or more. So these guys are out to lunch, even like just now, if they're now just realizing it. I've said before, I'll say it again, demographics. You can look at the chart. You can see, oh, look, as the years move along, these boomers are going to retire this. And coming up behind them is only the Gen Xers, and there isn't as many as there are boomers. So there's your labor shortage. I mean, my God, it makes me just angry. You like labor shortages? It means better wages? Yes, it does, because there isn't enough. And it's like, well, you know what? I'm working for you, but this guy over here is going to offer me this much to go and work for him. What are you going to do for me? And they can't find anybody, so it's like, that's how it goes. You forgot I parlais bouge de français, de français. That's right. Je suis parle en français, un peu de tout, but that's okay. They just want to pay 1965 wages. Yeah, James, that's the thing. That's what, like talking about that other article where it was like, oh, well, you know, they need to compensate the workers. Look at where you're applying to. If it's going to be a small business, mom and pop, you're not going to make the big bucks as somebody who works at Shell or one of the refineries or whatever. So pick wisely. In 2024, the average hourly wage for a construction worker was $25 with a high of $38 per hour. Wow, that's pretty good. And on average, the highest hourly pay for a construction worker in Newfoundland and Labrador, Nunavut, and Ontario was $40. Nice. Hey, what's up, Carl? Guten Tag, mein Herr. Was ist los? How you doing? Good to see you, Carl. Yeah, we're just going over this this article here about leaving office jobs to work in the skilled trades. So we're just going over some of the things that they came up with. And it's Gap. What's up, Gap? How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Je t'adore, je window. Not bad, Fabric, not bad. You forgot it was Tuesday. DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? You're home from work now? You forgot it was Tuesday. All right, well, next time I got to send you an alert. Send it right to your phone. That's what I'm going to do. Be like, hey, DJ, don't forget. According to Job Bank, 73% of construction workers receive at least one type of non-wage benefit. These can help employer-sponsored pension plans, dental, medical, and life insurance plans, leave entitlements, maternity, paternal, or caregiver, sick days, vacation days, and payroll taxes such as employer contributions to the Employment Insurance Program and the Canada Pension Plan, or Quebec Pension Plan, because they get their own pension plan. If you're a Canadian who's made the switch from 9-to-5 office job, we'd like to hear from you. For a possible story, email us at this one. Okay, so they're just looking for people. And one of my friends who was a retail worker at a bookstore, she made the jump to being a heavy-duty mechanic. So there you go. She's a good success story going from working in retail to going into the skilled trades. So I'm going to have her on, you guys. I'll have her on one time and we can discuss. And you guys can hear her story. It's a great story. Great success story. German is too good. You want him checked for funny mustaches? What are you talking about, Fabric Folds? Don't know what this is you were speaking about. But I will, can I see your papers? Papers, please. Well, that was it for that one. Next up, this is from MNP. Workforce Challenge, the hunt for skilled talent. I mean, that's us, guys. We're the skilled talent. You guys are the talent. If you're in the trades, you are the skilled talent. Synopsis. As Canada's economy leans harder into tech, the race for skilled digital professionals is heating up. This article digs into the high-stakes hunt for future-ready workers. What the hell does that mean, future-ready workers? The risks of falling behind and why reskilling, retention, and responsible AI use are now mission-critical. Well, I don't know about AI use. This article sounds more like advertisement than anything, and everyone knows that advertising is full of lies. Yes, why must you turn my stream into a house of lies? That's pretty much it. Advertising, also known as propaganda, and it was invented by Edward Bernays. If you look up Edward Bernays, you'll see he played a pivotal role in all sorts of quote-unquote advertising, or propaganda as he called it. He came up with a lot of things to manipulate the masses. So look up that name, Edward Bernays. Not a lot of people know about it. All right, where are we going here? As Canada's economy shifts towards technology-driven growth, your organization faces an urgent challenge: finding, developing, and retaining the digital professionals you need to succeed. You love a good Bernays sauce? Me too. Me too. They're great. Hollandaise. Hollandaise is good stuff. Industries are already struggling with chronic skill shortages, shifting workforce expectations, and a growing reliance on AI in recruitment. This issue will only accelerate in the year and years ahead. Without strategic action, these trends could stifle innovation, slow productivity, and put businesses at a disadvantage in the global market. Thanks for the link, David. Excellent job. His book, The Mothers, is also an eye-opening and very rare. Okay. Good stuff, James. Nice to see that you know a bit about it as well. The demand for tech talent remains high despite high-profile job cuts. Equinix's Global Tech Trends survey reveals that 70% of Canadian business cite a shortage of skilled workers as a major barrier to success. The most sought-after skills include cloud computing, AI, cybersecurity, and data analytics. However, the workforce isn't keeping up. The Future Skills Center reports that 90% of jobs in the next decade will require digital skills, but only 54% of workers currently have them. Canada risks falling behind in the global digital economy without urgent investment in upskilling and reskilling. We haven't made much mentioned skilled trades yet, but we'll see. The competition for skilled digital professionals has never been fiercer. Businesses are facing difficulty filling full-time positions. More than 75% of organizations report difficulty hiring full-time employees as per the Society for Human Resource Management 2024 Talent Trends Report. Specialized skill gaps, cybersecurity, AI, and data science roles remain particularly difficult to staff. Retention struggles. Even with a strong labor market, businesses are struggling to keep top talent. Canada's aging workforce is compounding this labor crisis. Many skilled professionals are retiring, leaving gaps in knowledge that younger workers are not yet ready to fill. Meanwhile, skilled trades and essential industries are suffering from declining interest. Despite strong wages and career stability, younger generations increasingly prefer technology-based roles over skilled trades, mining, and manufacturing. Wait. Didn't we hear about stuff, the Gen Z tool belt generation? Is that they kept talking about it? These guys are not even talking about that. So what's going on here? Are they going into the skilled trades or are they not? I don't think I've seen a Gen Z tradesman yet. So maybe they're just full of garbage. Digital skills, you can flip off people with the best of them. That's not what they know. You're right, James. That's not what they mean. Got to use those digits for something else. Still, there does seem to be a glimmer of hope. Canada is taking steps to close this skills gap, like launching the Digital Talent Platform, which connects digital professionals with job opportunities in the public sector. As of publishing, more than 14,000 applications have been received. Despite these efforts, policy shifts and public sentiment may impact hiring strategies, and consequently, organizations cannot rely only on digital platforms to address talent needs. Yes, that is true. It's critical that you prepare for potential changes to labor laws, immigration quotas, and funding for workforce development. Well, don't worry about immigration quotas. You don't need to flood immigrants in here for that. This is about AI. AI and recruitment. AI is transforming hiring. Businesses are using AI solutions to speed up the hiring process by filtering resumes and automating assessments. Improve candidate experiences with personalized recruitment journeys. What is a personalized recruitment journey? Like, well, this is just fancy word talk. It doesn't even mean anything anymore. And they're using it to identify skills-based applicants beyond traditional job titles. So when I put out my resume and somebody looks at the skills that I list, that should be good enough. They should look at it and go, oh, he does have the skills we're looking for. You don't need an AI to do that. But, of course, they're going to do that. Hey, over on Twitch, what's up, Tanker? How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping in. Nice to see you. We're just going over talking about the shortage of the skilled trades and what's being done about it. Yo, Infinite Metal over on Kick. Nice to see you, Infinite. Guys, Infinite, he's the guy I always talk about. You got to follow him on Kick and Twitch because he's a pretty entertaining streamer when he streams his retro games, and he's got like a pet dragon, Dragon Lord, and Skelly just mocks and ridicules him, which makes it so much fun to watch. All right, let's go along here. It's not without risks, like bias in hiring. Algorithms can unintentionally exclude qualified candidates. Then don't use it. Over-reliance on AI may eliminate strong applicants with non-traditional backgrounds. Then don't use it. Lack of transparency into AI training and decision logic raises compliance and ethical concerns. Then don't use it. That's what I'm saying. Don't use AI for your hiring. If it's going to be a problem, don't do it. Thanks for throwing the link for Infinite in there, David. That's great. To succeed, your organization must ensure that AI is a tool for efficiency and improved experience, not a barrier to diverse hiring. Then don't use it. Messing with Skelly and Infinite is funny and hilarious to do? You bet it is, Tanker. That's why I go there. I go for the gaming. I stay for the ridicule. Risks to watch. Aging workforce and retirements. We knew about this already, everybody. The boomers are retiring, and there's going to be gaps in the trades. There's nobody to step in and fill the gaps. So that's one of the things. Chronic skill shortages. The skills gap is widening as organizations struggle to fill key roles, hindering productivity and growth. Economic uncertainty and wage growth. Plans to curtail wage increases amid a glum economic outlook could potentially affect talent retention and attraction. Labor shortages in mining. The mining industry faces severe labor shortages amid soaring demand for minerals essential in various technologies. Yeah, if they want everybody to have minerals for their batteries, they're going to have to go through mining to do it. So that could be a place to get a job start at. Donovan Worland was just talking about this. Some large employer was raided by ICE and the next day received like 100 times applications for each position. Wow. Sounds like AI isn't ready for prime time. You got her, Fabric. I don't think so either. AI suffering from basic GIGO problems. Garbage in, garbage out. James, is that what you're getting at? Go ahead and follow Infinite Metal if you want. It's up to you. Well, I think they should, because I enjoy watching Infinite. Temporary foreign worker caps. Employers relying on low-wage foreign labor will be restricted, impacting sectors like hospitality and agriculture. Labor integration challenges. Canada's labor market struggles to keep up with high immigration, leading to challenges in job creation and integration of new workers. Demand for reskilling and upskilling. More companies focus on reskilling existing employees because of budget constraints and the need to fill skill gaps. Never mind upskilling or reskilling, just basic training. I did my hydrogen sulfide my H2S Alive training recently. So I have to do that. It's a requirement and it lasts for 3 years and you have to do it every 3 years. It just makes you aware of the dangers of H2S, which I know firsthand the dangers of it because I work with hydrogen sulfide all the time. So, and next up I have to go for some, what is it now? Oh, aerial work platform and fall arrest. So on this Friday, I'm going to do training for aerial work platform and fall arrest. One of the essential things to get to be valuable. If you're the one that can run the aerial work platform, great. You have your fall arrest training, also great. They go hand in hand. So I always say, everybody, get trained up as much as you can. Always go for training. If they offer it, take it. And if your company doesn't offer it to pay for it, look at the price and see if you can afford to do it on your own. Do it yourself. It'll benefit you. You pull out that certificate. Yes, I'm qualified for whatever it is. This. I can do confined space entry. I can do, rescue. I have my first aid, all that kind of stuff. I can operate a forklift, forklift certified, right? So go and do that, even for yourself, even if the company's not going to pay for it, because some of them are not that expensive at all. $150. It's a day's worth of work to do. You're mostly in the classroom, but you can get that, and then you've got your certificate, and it's another feather in your cap to make yourself more valuable to the employer. Skills mismatch due to rapid tech advances. Technology evolving faster than workers can adapt, necessitating continuous learning and adaptation. That may be true, but companies are not buying the latest and greatest technologies because they're too darn expensive. So that's what's going to happen is companies won't buy the latest inventions or latest technology because it's too expensive. Boosted in the entire unit's economy, but tanks theirs. Yeah, it disproves the lie that Americans won't do those jobs. You never have enough training. Yeah, Gap, exactly. Gonna put me in a harness. They are. Yep, I know how to wear a harness properly, Fabric. And I make sure I use fall restraint, not fall arrest, depending on the situation. If I'm working an aerial platform, I want fall restraint. I don't want fall arrest. You don't feel good, James? You all right, man? Yeah, the more certs, the more work. Exactly, Fabric. That's right. Yeah, James, you gotta get yourself checked out there, buddy. Asthma or something? I hope it's nothing serious. Sector-specific skilled shortages. Certain sectors like construction, utilities, mining face specific skill shortages with downstream effects. Public sentiment and policy shifts. Public backlash and electoral pressure lead to policy changes that impact immigration and foreign worker programs. Mitigation strategies. Invest in reskilling and upskilling. Expand recruitment pipelines to improve strategies. Promote careers in skilled trades. That's a big one. They got to do that at the junior high level for school. Promote the careers in skilled trades. Improve workplace flexibility. Well, some places can, some can't. I mean, if you're working in an office, maybe you can be more flexible, work from home. If you're working out in the skilled trades, out at a facility, your flexibility, maybe you can do different hours. That might be a thing, but there is going to be no working from home. There you go. Something with the old lungs. Okay. Yeah, find that inhaler, James. Come on, man. There we go. That's that one. Why the skilled trades are vital to Pennsylvania's future. I don't know if anybody lives close to Pennsylvania, but we're going to see what's going on there. Next time you go to your doctor, ask for an inhaled steroid. It works well for intermittent breathing problem. Hey, there you go. Good advice, Fabric. Humidity is probably not helpful. Oh, okay. Where are we at for time here? Okay, do we have enough time? This is a pretty short article. So, Pennsylvania will face 300,000 skilled trades worker shortfall by 2030. That's in 5 years. Tech Centro provides tuition-free bilingual training across 6 counties. Workforce training returns up to $8 for every one invested. And over 2,200 people remain in Tech Centro's waitlist due to funding gaps. On National Skilled Trades Day, May 7th, 2025, we celebrate the essential workers who keep Pennsylvania's economy running. From electricians and welders to healthcare technicians and mechanics, skilled trades professionals are the backbone of our workforce. More importantly, we need to give these workers a reason to stay in Pennsylvania to fill critical roles and to drive our state's economic prosperity. The demand for skilled trades is at an all-time high. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, the state is facing a shortfall of more than 300,000 skilled trade workers by 2030. This gap threatens our infrastructure, healthcare system, and manufacturing sector, industries that are vital to our state's economic stability. Without immediate action, businesses will be forced to slow operations and our communities will suffer from delayed services, stalled construction projects, and understaffed hospitals. Unlike other career paths that often lead young professionals out of state in search of opportunities, skilled trades offer stable, well-paying jobs that encourage workers to remain in their communities. In fact, data from the National Skills Coalition shows that nearly 80% of those trained in skilled trades remain employed in their home state. This retention strengthens Pennsylvania's workforce and ensures that businesses have the skilled employees they need to thrive. Yet too often, these career paths are overlooked, undervalued, and underfunded. That must change. The Tech Central Workforce Network, comprised of regional bilingual workforce development centers, is at the forefront of solving this workforce challenge. Since its founding in 2023, the network has expanded to serve Berks, Dauphin, Lancaster, Lebanon, Philadelphia, and York counties, regions where workforce shortages are particularly pressing. By providing tuition-free bilingual education and occupational training, Tech Central is equipping workers with the skills they need to secure family-sustaining careers in high-demand fields. The economic impact is clear. Graduates of Tech Central's programs are filling critical job vacancies, reducing dependency on public assistance, and contributing to the tax base. A report from the Keystone Research Center found that for every dollar invested in workforce training, Pennsylvania sees a return of up to $8 in economic growth. When workers earn competitive wages and reinvest in their local economies, the benefits extend beyond individuals, they strengthen entire communities. Despite this progress, demand for skilled workforce training far exceeds available resources. Across all Tech Central locations, over 2,200 individuals remain on our waitlist. An additional 8 million is needed to train those eager to join Pennsylvania's skilled workforce. The solution requires a collaborative approach, public and private investment, expanded training opportunities, and policies that support technical education. But we cannot wait for those solutions to emerge on their own. Every stakeholder must take action now. No bilingual nonsense. I should only have to say duck in one language and one time. Exactly. There you go, Fabric. I don't know what they mean by bilingual anyway. We call on state legislators to prioritize funding for workforce training programs. We urge businesses to invest in apprenticeships, internships, and educational partnerships. We ask community leaders to advocate for policies that expand access to technical education. And we challenge every Pennsylvanian to recognize and respect the value of skilled trades in sustaining our economy. As we recognize National Skilled Trades Day, let us be more than a day of acknowledgement. Let it be a call to action. The future of Pennsylvania's economy depends on a robust and skilled labor force. The time to invest in that future is now. So, Pennsylvania, going to bat. All right. If I have to yell run in 7 languages, it's probably too late for you. Yeah. Just watch me. Look at me. See, I'm running. Follow me. All right. Well, it's picture time. It's picture time. I know you guys like picture time. Have I got something to show you? And I wish Godzillionaire was here. He'd appreciate this. You want to flood the market with overqualified candidates? Learn to code? Send the coding jobs to China and India? It's already done, James. All right, let's go like this. And this. See, I know everybody likes picture time. All right. Let's see here. We'll do actually that and that. And boom, there we go. Okay, so earlier or last week I was working on a pump. It had a leak. And I had to go in. They thought the diaphragm may have failed, so I had to go inside a pump, which looks like this. It's this one. These are excellent pumps. Diaphragm pump. Angry Canadian. What's up, AC? How you doing, man? It's my favorite streamer, Angry Canadian. I watched him this morning before I went to work. He was playing the Switch 2, showing some of the upgrades that how the games handle on the Switch 2. So if you're interested in watching that kind of stuff, you should tune in to Angry Canadian. You're just saying that these media outlets are not your friend? Exactly. What's the saying go? You don't hate the media enough? This is true. No, you are breathtaking. I got you, AC. I got you. So this is a pulsafeeder pump. This thing is great. 0 emissions, so you won't have any fugitive emissions coming out of this. We pump carbon disulfide, which is a highly flammable liquid. It's used as a solvent. So this pumps it. And it makes it so it uses Teflon diaphragm. And none of the emissions will escape unless the diaphragm breaks. Oh, thanks for throwing up throwing that link in there, David. Appreciate that. There's the link for Angry Canadien. You can go see him and his angry antics. All right, so this thing, I'm going to try to see if I can get a good breakdown to it. Let's see, what do we got here? We got the IOM, which is the Installation and Operating Maintenance Manual. Mostly angry. Mostly peacefully angry. Prescribe. Stop helping autocorrect. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this pulsafeeder. It's a neat setup here. Let's zoom in. Get really close here. Very simple setup. Motor drives the worm gear to the worm wheel, which drives this shaft here. And it just pushes back and forth the pump head piston assembly, which actually doesn't even touch the diaphragms. This is strictly a liquid. It uses hydraulics, so it pushes the liquid. It compresses the liquid, which pushes on the diaphragm to move the diaphragm. So no mechanical part touches the diaphragm. This is really fascinating. The diaphragm broke. That's how your first son was conceived. Whoops. Your brain is saying car coat pocket. Look there, but yeah. You got to look for that inhaler, James. But yes, this thing, as you can see, there's the suction valve and check valve right there, and the discharge valve. So this piston right here pushes on the liquid, and the liquid transfers the power hydraulically, as hydraulics do, to the diaphragm, which moves back and forth. And that moves the liquid inside this area here, pushes it out, and also pulls it in. Pull it in, push it out, pull it in, push it out, just back and forth, back and forth. So what happened is we thought that the diaphragm broke because the gauge on it was reading high pressure. So we're like, okay, it usually reads 0, but when it reads a high pressure, then it means that the diaphragm has broken. So yours truly had to get in there and disassemble it. We might be able to find some videos on YouTube about it too, because might be able to show how it works. Let's see if they... Oh, yeah. They'd have a better... So, yes. Our motor is lined up horizontally, not vertically. That's what it looks like, all right. No, actually, when a Teflon diaphragm breaks, it doesn't. It as soon as it puts a hole in it or something, then that's about it. It doesn't do anything like that. I don't want to see the vertical one. I want to see the horizontal one. But this is how it works here. You guys have a look here. See, it goes like that. You can see on the right-hand side there, the liquid is moving the diaphragm. Yep, no spalling like a rubber diaphragm. Exactly. Secret of the ooze. Push to purge. I don't have that one on my pump. Still going to just show the vertical one, not the horizontal one. That's disappointing. But there, you got a better shot of it. Look at that. You see that? It's all done with the power of hydraulics. There's how you pull it off and get at the diaphragm. That's exactly what I had to do. And Canadian, you're doing Gundam construction Thursday night. Okay, so have a look here. There's the diaphragm. There's the part that I had to deal with this time around. Let me show you. That's not it. Let me show you. There we go. So this piece is this piece. It's a cup. Piston cup, I believe they call it. But it's cracked. Like, look at that. It's cracked all the way along. And that wasn't something we expected. We thought that the diaphragm was broken, but it turns out this was a problem as well. Try to get a better shot of it. So I had some Loctite Super Bonder, and I opened up that crack and I poured it in there. Now Loctite Super Bonder is will stick your fingers together, which is how it's an industrial glue. Like, this stuff is crazy. It's like crazy glue. So I did that, and that seemed to grab it and hold it together, and we'll see if it holds over until shutdown arrives. But yeah, this piece cracked, and it's this piece of the pump here. This piece here. I wish they would have showed the horizontal pump, though. They didn't. Let's see what we got here. Pulsa Pro. It's not a Pulsa Pro, though. Just this one. Let's see. They're going to do it this one? No. Disappointing. Can it make pasta? Yeah, if you set it up for that. Gap. Yeah, it's more like this one, the 880, but it's not the 880. Mine's the 7440. And it doesn't use a Hydra tube. So this thing, This thing comes with two things it can use. It can either use, where is it? It can either use a Hydra tube or diaphragm. So you got your choice. And we chose to go with diaphragm. There it is there. It's all Teflon. The lungs aren't hurting now. Okay, good, James. Good. Yeah, make sure you find it, man. Do what you can to get it. There it is. There's the piece right there. Not cracked. Let's see. Figure 16. What do we got here? Make sure the head dish plate is seated in the head. The concave cavity facing the diaphragm. Yeah, so that's it right there. That is called the dish plate. And it's not supposed to be cracked like that. Just like the Teflon Don. You got her, DJ. I hear it bad for like 5 minutes, maybe a spasm. Yeah, we don't know. But like, follow what Fabric says. Talk to the doctor about corticosteroid. Yeah. Thanks for that advice there, Fabric. You're a good man. Yes. So here's the Hydra tube. We don't use the Hydra tube, but that's what it has. And it looks like it can be changed and set inside. I don't think I want to deal with that. I think dealing with diaphragm is probably a lot better. Seems to take a lot to change out just the Hydra tube. And then there's the check balls. And the seats. So you got to have you have to have one-way check valves in order for the fluid to flow properly, because one has to block the flow and the other one has to let it open when it's pumping along. I mean, this is the whole manual you can find on this thing. And it gets into stuff like bearings and the worm shaft and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, pump it good. I'm going to pump you up. You don't like it. Don't be a girly man. And then it's got your troubleshooting, what to do. Got the requirements that you need because you have to provide so much head pressure to keep positive the liquid flowing to the pump. It's even got torque recommendations for the head bolts and the tie bar bolts in inch pounds, not even foot pounds. It's inch pounds. That's crazy. You're getting into really not going to be able to tighten things up very tight at all. Well, we are here to pump you up. Exactly, Gap. You know where I'm going with that. So yeah, good pump when it works, but having that failure of the of this thing, the dish plate, that is not good at all. So I have to price it out I don't know what it's going to cost. I'll tell you guys next time. See if I can't get a price on it, because I expect it to be pretty expensive. But I'm going to ask these guys if it comes in metal rather than plastic, because that's what this is. Hear me now and listen to me later. Hans und Franz. Yeah, exactly. That's right, Fabric. Just get the shower head on Amazon. Yeah, okay, DJ. Yeah. 72 inch pounds is 6 foot pounds. Yeah. Not a lot, isn't it, James? I was looking at a inch pound torque wrench today. And I was like, man, I don't need to. It's not going to let you pull a lot of force on there, but sometimes you need that. I'm not impressed. These guys should have had a pulsifeeder pump service center video. Only a minute and 40. And you got what? This guy, this clown. There we go. Finally. Not very good video if you're disassembling it and people can't see from this far away. That's poor. That's a poor stream right there. This is more like what looks like my pump there. See in the top there, you've got your worm gear or your worm wheel. And there you can set the stroke, how much you want. Let's keep going here. This cup's going to be $8,000, you bet. Hey, there you are. Yep. Put your bets out there, guys. What's it going to be? What do you think that cup is going to be that I have to get? We'll see who gets closest next time. That's the problem. Should be something sturdy. Yes, James, I agree. Not plastic. They should have at least used aluminum or something like that. You have to drop off. Have a good night. All right, David, thank you for all your assistance. I appreciate you coming by. And I hope to see you around the next time. Do not get the silicone cup. That'll be $50,000. Yeah. Do I get 2? Yeah, a new pump fabric. I think when we bought this thing, it was like $46,000. Plus $6,000 for the spare parts. Something like a glass reinforced nylon part. Metal, probably not good for sulfur acids. Metals. But it doesn't touch the material that you're pumping. It doesn't touch it. I had to explain that to my manager. I'm like, this doesn't touch the stuff that we're pumping. It just sits in the oil. Gold is non-reactive but expensive and soft. Yeah, you can try gold. A little bit on the pricey side now. Yeah, fabric. You knew it. I knew it. Anyways, yeah. Sorry I didn't have a lot of pictures, guys. I was all suited up in my chemical suit to take this thing apart, so it was quite difficult. Full face shield, respirator, chemical suit, chemical gloves, rubber boots. I was all suited up to dig into this. So it was difficult for me to take pictures. I could only take them when I got to the shop, so maybe next time, because I'm going to have to pull it apart again to replace it. Yeah, the aluminum or steel or stainless steel. Yeah, any one of those will be fine, James. Provided they make it. Yeah, copper. Why not? Copper's not that expensive. Not as expensive as gold. Steel, copper, brass. Start mixing stuff. Copper and tin. Well, all right, fellas. I think that's about it for what I've got for you tonight. Please, before you guys go, please hit that like button or subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you, or follow me depending on which platform you're watching me on. Just please do what you can. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Let them know old Pop's here. I'm here every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Because this is your most industrial stream on a Tuesday night. How do they determine where the holes are on that piece? It might just be. It looks like a proper pattern gap, but it might just be guesswork. I'm sure they had some sort of bolt circle that they went by and like, okay, we have to go around at this this diameter, make so many holes at this diameter, make so many holes at this diameter. It could just be bolt hole placement, like measurement, and then okay, let's put them in here, and then here, and then here, and then here. Hey, no problem, Alex. I'm glad you stopped by, man. It's always good to see you. It's just like the printer you bought for $50. Only discovered that the ink replacement cartridge is also $50. Yeah. Hey, you want a $50 printer? Oh, sure. How much is the ink? $50. Each color. Titanium is great for certain things, but it tends to notch, which is exactly what it sounds like. Oh. It's also expensive, isn't it, James? Titanium? Few printer rebate, $50. Yeah. Wait, what's up, Veritex? How you doing, man? Just gonna start wrapping her up here. Refills get a few uses before something goes wrong. Yeah. Or spiral pattern. Yeah, it looks like it cracked right across. Like it just followed the holes. It went cracked. It didn't get that one. But then it's like, yeah, we're going here, 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 here. And it had just missed that one. I'm glad I was able to get that Loctite in there and able to, glue it back together. And it's surrounded on all sides, so it's not going to break apart and move left or right or anything. It's very encapsulated when it's in its spot. But yeah, I definitely want something else. All right, fellas. Well, there's other good streamers out there, people I watch and enjoy, like Pacific 414 and our DJ Ronnie G, who's in the chat. If you like your turtles, tech, and astronomy, you're going to want to watch DJ Ronnie G. He's got his Monday show on Thursday. So tune into that. There's also Brandon the Anime Guy. There's Carl at the RNG Podcast. We saw Carl earlier in the chat there. It's always nice to see him. There's Tom B. He's the bloke from across the ocean in Britain. There's Angry Canadian. He's in the chat too. Nerdporo Lifeform. There's everyone's favorite penguin, Punk Waddle. He's always got something good to say. I always like watching Punk Waddles. Penguin positivity. It's a great thing. We need more of that in the world. And don't forget, I've mentioned before, I'll mention it again, Infinite Metal. You want to see Infinite Metal. It's on Kick and Twitch. Brandy the Anime Guy. Yeah, we can call him that, DJ. Yeah, thanks, Gap. Thanks for coming by, man. Really appreciate it. Glad you liked the show. I had fun. I hope you did too. Coming up, though, on Saturday, Retro Game Day, I'm going to be playing more Penguins of Madagascar. Going to try to get through these stages. There's quite a few, but I've got to complete it, and I want to see what all the cutscenes. It's pretty awesome that a DS game has a lot of cutscenes with voices and everything, whereas the Wii U version did not have any voices. So I was kind of disappointed by that, but the DS coming through. And that's what'll be going on Saturday. Bought a printer like that, used the ink it came with, and saw replacement ink cost and gave it away, threw it out. I was about to spend $50 on ink for a $25 printer. There you go, James. That'll teach him. Thanks for putting the link in there to Punkwaddle's latest vid, DJ. And the same for helping out with putting up Brandon's. That's what you pump. That's what the pump needs. Infinite metal. I wish. Okay, Sunday. On Sunday Anime Chat, I'm going to be talking about remakes. June is the time of the remake. We're going to have a look and see some shows that were made way back in the day and have had a modern update done to them, a remake, if you will. And we're going to compare the two, and we'll see whether you like the new one or prefer the old one, or what they've changed. I like seeing the changes. Whether they've decided to keep the same story beat for beat, or whether they switch things up. And we saw that the last time with the Urusei Yatsura. Watching the original was a lot different than watching the remake, especially the second half of the episode. So it's pretty interesting to find out what has gone on when they're going to do a remake. It was an HP printer? Oh no! HP. Oh, and yes, there in the chat is Aris's link to go and see Aris, because I know he streams as well. And LCX. Yeah, sometimes I turn into L if I'm at the right time and the right place. I'll try to see what LCX is up to. It has to look like somebody was trying to maybe break ice and it actually broke thing under the ice. Yeah, Veritax. It's pretty crazy. And then there's DJ Ronnie G's link. If you want to see what DJ's up to. It's always an HP, yes. Buy Canon. I've got a Canon. I personally use a Canon printer, and I love it. It's great. Well, and then after Sunday Anime Chat, it's going to be Tuesday again, and you guys know what that means. More Trades Talk Tuesday. Stop on by. You know the pitch I always go through. Just we'll learn about skilled trades. We'll see what's going on out there in industry. We'll look at some pictures, sometimes some videos, and hopefully we'll learn a few things. And I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Al has some hidden zingers, low-key humor, but also a bit of a legal scholar. But in your humble opinion, your stuff is the bestest ever. I was either your first or second guest ever, or third. I don't remember, DJ. I know I went on your show, but I don't remember if I was first, second, third, or what. But I was glad to be on there. It was fun. Hey, because I can be like, hey, yo, DJ, I'm walking here. I'm just gonna talk to you like we were both there in New York and you came and got me off the street. And be like, hey, yo, let's look at some astronomy. Anyway, that's enough of my terrible New York accent. All right, guys, I had fun. I hope you did too. And I hope to see you guys coming up on the weekends. If not, maybe the next time on Trades Talk. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.